125th Street, Harlem, New York, for David Henderson. Out somewhere I know a street, and in my heart I feel its bitter beat. Worn out shoes and dirty rags, slick-haired men and pretty young hags, ever clinging traffic in my mind, and through my veins runs the blood of iron. Nigger path, hangout corner, number man, walk softly, Pete, liquor joint, beer joint, by day or night, 125th Street. Into some dive I wander. Browns, bamboo, silver rail, fascination, palm cafe. I'm mean, hurt, lonely, and prone to anger. Slow on cash and quick of thirst. Walk softly, Pete. I'll kill the man who touches me first. Upturned glass in my throat burns the rot of 125th Street. Back into the street I roam, this joint and that joint. Black man at the counter, white man on, dark man a few. Still, what must I do and where must I go to escape this monolithic ghetto? Rich gal, poor gal, Spanish gal, college gal, slick old fake chick, where can we meet? Liquor joint, beer joint, by day or night, 125th Street. Out somewhere I know a street. In my being I feel its suffering heat. Upon my brow the mark of skin, schizoid, sham span of kin, sets me aloof to walk this poverty of fate, from whose tampered down existence erupts in me a boiling love and hate. Downtown, white folks play, some blacks too. Wide lanes, slick paved thoroughfares, showboat, how green the valley. Uptown, niggers pay, some old fays too. Sugar brown gal in the alley, bubble gum neon and processed hair, ferry boys, doctor men, long slick limousines, the body smell of my woman, gasoline. Civilization, culture, oh yes, I know. Muddy water, sexy honky-tonk, white madness in a black cinema show. Like, why don't I get hip and split this town, for 125th Street gets me down. I linger, because I know in every town there is 125th Street. In my being I feel oppressing heat, upon my brow the mark of idiom, schizoid. Oh, sham span of kin that sets me to walk within this prison place, from whose tampered down existence erupts in me a mighty strength to conquer space. Burnt Sunday, Mount Morris. 1. Prior to the beginning, there was always. Prior to always, there was harassment. And always was contained in miracle. And harassment contained in miracle. And miracle was motionless, except for the harassment within and without, except for the genes of male and woman, and the genes of death, and the windmill of perpetual beginning. I was brought upon that hill that April morning, thinking of you, my mother. As I mounted, footfall of childhood echoed. Off the path, shoe lay heel over. Saw fishbone left there. Heard children seeking each other in the bush. Saw the belly of a burnt-out star on a beggar's face, and burning in my flesh, my own enigma, saw coming down the hill to merge me with death. And I thought of you, and longed for you, my mother, that April morning. 2. It is the enigma in our lives that makes us think back childhood. We are worried about being accepted by people. We are harassed about being loved by people, and we do not understand harassment. We do not understand love. Each in our own idiom, we hold the nightmare of our singularity in our hands and cry out to the world, this is love, love. So wretched the children born out of wedlock. How shall one commemorate his mother on this day? Shall he send her portfolio of April, hands flinging palms to the ground, scenes of feet washing and betrayal, and the wind riding his anemic bones? Shall he send her the wishes of his putative father, or shall he send her his tears, proclaiming them love, love? It is the mystery of our birth makes us think back. Childhood. 3. In the beginning there was always, and harassment was the infinite property of always, and harassment had a definite shape and a definite form, and on the 7th revolution of the perpetual windmill of beginning, the infinite property of always froze to an unbearable temperature. The whole universe was a monolithic mass of ice. The wind froze and spanned the cosmos like an endless sheet of opaque glass, and still it grew colder until at last the ice everywhere exploded, sending hot fire and debris throughout the universe, and it was 1,000,000,000 times hotter than it ever had been cold. Burnt Sunday, burnt Jesus, come, I will show you miracle in your mother's womb. 3. The woods of the trees of the field went forth to stalk upon the sea, and the sands of the shore rose up to meet the trees upon the beach. To everything there is a season. Death is a time for everything. Death is excellent in its time. We complain, we want the same, we expect the same, although we complain. What is it to be born out of the womb? To fall away from flesh and look at it, to reach an identity beyond ego, to become a force beyond self-emotion. We complain. We who would lift ourselves by lifting the plank upon which we stand, we who are afraid to speak, and we who speak because we are afraid, we who sit on committees and fill out questionnaires and send memorandum through channels, we who beat one another constantly with sticks that have only one end. We complain, but we do not want change. 4. Sunday is a season for fire, and I have come to the heights of this mountain to witness the burning of the 3 dead men. I am the 4th dead man. I have betrayed you, my mother. I am the light and the dark, the harassment contained in lilac bug. I am decay in order and ethos. Come, I will show you birth in a handful of debris. 5. Here, perched on the heights of this abandoned Atlantis hill, historic and alone, an ancient bell hoisted skyward by rusted iron, a bell forever locked in time by oblivion, by the coming and going of generations, tolls no more the tallying of days over this city, burning now in the thigh fork of the multitudes. Oh, how the women walk with pride in the swift rhythm of their skirt tails. I see the varied carols of people walking up and down this Sunday, milling around, salivating the exquisite madness of the human enterprise, bought and betrayed with money, holding, administering it, heaving it into the desert of man's eternal agony. The passengers for AG. Once done, a silent train pulled into the station of America, ghostly, invisible. No one saw it, no one heard its grinding wheels came to a stop. Out of the train the passengers came like mummies, silent, sleepy-eyed, moving in and among the people like zombies from some dark, mysterious place in the universe. But they are not mummies, they are not dead. These are the passengers going to and fro among the cities, walking up and down, milling around, sitting in on important conferences, looking, watching, hearing, peering around, observing, slipping into hallways, riding on elevators, visiting fan meetings, attending football games, sitting among moviegoers, taking notes at the UN, standing amid crowds at street corner speeches, coming up and down escalators in the Pan Am building, going here and there, riding subways, buses, airplanes, walking the streets, commuting from town to city, walking among riots and public commotions, standing in lines, eating in restaurants, witnessing plots, robberies, deaths, conspiracies, lovers making love, keeping records, filing away papers, money, keeping statistics on everything, the birth rate and the death rate, growth of cities, decline of rural areas, watching unmindful people walking under umbrellas when it is no longer raining. Silently, solemnly, the passengers are among us, coming and going, standing, looking, continuing, counting, taking down names, adding, multiplying, dividing, subtracting. Everywhere they are among us, in sleep and waking, and nobody hears them, nobody sees them, except one, and he is frightened by their ghostly manner, intrigued and excited by their demeanor, enthralled and electrified by their whispering and going to and fro in the manner of sleepwalkers, inspired by their enigma. But they are not sleepwalkers. They have no enigma. And the one runs among them, shouting from the depths of his bowels, haranguing and imploring, nudging, pinching, kicking, screaming. But the passengers will not be awakened, will not bring color and visibility to their presence or to their forms. They remain unseen, unheard, solemn, still, invisible, ghostly like zombies. They move as if to an unheard music in their minds, back onto the waiting invisible train, standing in the station of America like a suspended dirge, and they take their seats. But the train does not move. The wheels refuse to grind. The steam will not explode. The piston won't gyrate. As if propelled by a compulsion beneath the blood, or by a commitment sealed in a vault too imperative for denial, stern-faced, silent, solemn, the passengers rise in unison and empty out into the cities again, going about their awful business, taking down names, writing in books of red, blue, green, spots of orange and hectic colors, looking at billboards, peeing like average men and women, and like big names in high and low echelons of politics, society, economics, or like just plain peeing people in subway stations, at bus stops, behind parked cars, in dark alleys or crowded restrooms, peeing in locker rooms, invisible, talking to no one, being seen, heard, felt by no one, going to and fro, private houses, cleaning, sitting at tables, getting in and out of taxi cabs, solemn, serene, in groups of threes and fours, pulling cups from cup dispensaries, going alone at lunch counters with multitudes, silent, unobserved, taking coffee breaks with millions throughout the teeming cities, standing at the racetracks, observing what the police are doing, watching the habits of birds, keeping tab on the weather, cleaning up scraps, washing, ironing, clearing away old clothes, debris, empty beer cans, abandoned love affairs, fanning away the smoke of the immaculate mushroom, mixing with communists, black niggers, white bigots, liberals, extremists, and reactionaries alike, mingling, aggregating, jitterbugging among dykes, faggots, pimps, writers, pneumatic drill handlers, poets, painters, Negro prostitutes. They are preparing, secretly, solemnly preparing for the spinal screams, the jerking and throbbing of the sphincters, the clinging and clawing on the back, the slow, involuntary tears, the sighs and spontaneous utterances of pain and ecstasy. They are preparing, getting ready for the womb of the woman when she comes for the third time.